About 1.5 years ago, I filmed a video down at this reserve near where I live. At the time I was focusing on tree guards and what they're good for. But I just wanted to come back, so it's been 1.5 years, and show you just how quickly a forest will grow. So when you choose the right species for the climate and the situation, and when you take care of them, whether that's through irrigation or whatever, these haven't been irrigated, but when they're cared for, in this case it was keeping the weed pressure down, one of the responsible uses of sprays, a forest grows very, very quickly. So look back at that video and see how small these plants were only 1.5 years ago. So that last video was filmed in August of 2019. It's now February of 2021, so 1.5 years. And these trees have grown. A lot of these trees are pioneer trees, chosen specifically so they would grow quickly. So look at this, we've got acacia. We call these wattles, but yeah, they're in the acacia family. They're a pioneer species. They grow large very quickly, create the microclimate, shade out the weeds, and then they die, so they don't live terribly long. And they'll eventually be replaced by some of the larger trees, like this gum tree here. And we've got a mixture of gums and paperbarks and grevilleas. This one up here looks to me like a silky oak, but I'm no expert, but it looks to me like a silky oak. So Grevillea robusta, I think they are, but this will eventually tower over this forest. Beautiful, tall, straight tree. It's actually a very good timber tree. And yeah, it's just, I haven't been down here in a while and I'm blown away by how quickly it's grown, how tall it all is. Some of the trees have done not so great, like this small Grevillea here. Doesn't look that amazing, but when you look back at that video and recognize that 1.5 years ago, these were all tiny seedlings in little tree guards, even that's impressive. And then we've got a couple of paperbarks, and look, some of the trees are flowering, so this is a different kind of paperbark. I don't know all my paperbarks. You can see that one's got rounded leaves, that one's got pointy leaves, that one's a little melaleuca, so another type of paperbark. But yeah, this one's covered in flowers. Can't see any pollinators on it, although I am here pretty late in the day. But yeah, you can imagine when these flowers first popped, it would have been covered in pollinators. So that's how quickly a forest can grow. And so if you think about the food forest concept, it takes on a lot of these ideals. You use pioneer species to quickly get the forest up off the ground, and those species protect a lot of the more sensitive and slower growing trees. And you can see it in action here. So these trees were originally planted in rows. You can see it's sort of a row down there, but the trees are so big now it's hard to see where the rows actually were. And they're all different sorts, so you know, some are bushy, some are tall and skinny, some are leaning over. It's difficult to see where the rows were. You can sort of make it out with these spikes. Another one that didn't make it, but surrounded by large trees that did. Ha! This is kind of cool. I didn't see this last time. So this is on the reserve, and in amongst all these trees there's a citrus. So I'm not quite sure why this was left when they cleared it and planted all these natives. I mean, this kind of citrus certainly isn't native to here. It actually looks like a lime of some kind. You can see it's fruiting there. Getting hit by leaf miner. But it's a big tree. Big lime tree of some kind. How cool is that? I mean, citrus, this kind of citrus isn't invasive here. So, I mean, it probably is a seedling tree. Look at the thorns on it. I don't know if you can see those there. Massive thorns all along that branch. So although it's a lime, I think it's a seedling tree that's maybe been brought down here at some stage by birds, or maybe someone had their lunch here and their lunch or their drinks here, and they've dropped a lime seed of some kind and it's grown into this tree. Kind of interesting. This section's obviously been sprayed much more recently, and this part of the regeneration, I think it was younger, although the trees look plenty big enough. But you can certainly see the rows down here. They must be further apart, or I'm not sure why, but there's grass growing down here, whereas there isn't up in the... yeah, they are. They're further apart. I can see it. If you look over there, they're much closer together. And so these are further apart, and the grass obviously has enough room to grow between. And they've obviously mulched and sprayed around the trees. You know, I said it before, spray or herbicide certainly has its place. I'd prefer it was used less rather than more, but when it's used in this way, I'm not sure, without a bunch of manpower, I'm not sure there's, or woman power, I'm not sure there's a better solution. Obviously some of the mature natives were left when they first cleared this area of weeds, and they're already canopy trees. So just a couple there. This is a more mature acacia. It was obviously here when they did the initial clearing. Anyway, just a quick look. I'm blown away. So hopefully, if you saw that original video, if you look back at it, I think you'll be suitably impressed. Different kind of Melaleuca. Very, very good. And I've seen, I've actually lost where it was, but there was a little wren nest over in one of the trees before. The wildlife has moved back into this area. This was originally just originally it was a weedy patch, and then they cleared it and it was just a blank field. And now it's a young forest in only a year and a half. Anyway, I look forward to seeing this site progress for the next couple of years. Maybe I'll do another update in another year and a half. I can imagine by then there'll certainly be a canopy up above me, and if they are still managing the weeds in terms of spraying the grasses, etc., I imagine by then they will not need to be doing that because they'll all be shaded out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that quick look back at this site and what it's become. Just thought it was interesting, thought it was worth sharing. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.